All right, we're back again, and we are together in the same room for the first time. COVID is over.
Well, it's not over, but
it's over for me, and I'm being irresponsible. My friends are mad about it, but I don't care. I don't care.
I don't know him, guys. I'm just kidding. But
okay, so we have something fun today. We are going to be doing gay slang. Mm-hmm. So we are going to put up the word, and then we are going to both give our version of the word or use it in a sentence. I'm going to have to use it in a sentence a lot. When I did this, I realized I really don't actually know the definition of these words.
Even though most of them,
I use them all the time. I don't know the definition.
Yeah, so gay slang words come from like all over, but a lot of it comes from the gay ballroom scene.
True.
And then there's also words that are just gay community in general. So like, and we'll get into those too. But it's from all over. But it's different kind of gays, different gays from around the world. It's a bunch of different forms of gay. And they've all created different words, and it's all part of our community. So we're going to explain all of them.
And let's not forget the club.
Yes, and the club, everything.
All right, so let's do the first one.
Yes.
Realness.
Realness.
The realness. The realness.
Yes, so realness comes from giving realness. So when you're in drag, the girls, everyone, the gays or just people will say, "Ooh, girl, you're serving realness," meaning you look like a biological woman when you're in drag. Or if you're trans, you look like a cisgender woman.
Yes, and this is going to also be a synonym for passing.
Yes.
So, but the more polite way of saying it, but it's like, "Oh, girl, you were looking too real."
Yes, you're giving us realness, honey.
Realness, giving us realness.
Yes.
Okay. And then if you are giving realness, then you can get tens.
Yes.
Tens across the board.
And tens across the board comes back to what I was saying about the ballroom cultures. In the ballroom scene, when someone would go up for their category, whether it be walking, voguing, there was a panel of judges, and the panel of judges, you would wait for your score, and if each judge gave you a 10, you got tens across the board. So it just means you're slaying, so you got tens across the board.
Right. And I don't even use this as much in the competition or even the realness setting, but I actually use it a lot. Like if a model's looking really good or like I'm looking really good, I'm like tens, bitch.
And now we just use it as for like it's like it's good. Like you're cute. Like tens, honey, yes.
Exactly. And i.e., if you want to dig a little bit deeper, I'm actually alarmed at the amount of young queens that have not watched Paris is Burning.
Yes, you should watch Paris is Burning.
Jennifer Livingston's seminal 1999 documentary, which probably 75% of what we're going to say comes from that documentary, and they define it very, very well. So for you young queens, I know my old queens have seen that film, but for my young queens, that is definitely something you should Netflix tonight.
Yes.
All right, what we got next?
The next one is serving.
Sorry, I thought that said service for a minute. I was like, oh, I didn't know we were going there with this, but okay.
So yes, serving is like, yes, honey, you are giving. You are serving the people. You are giving it to them. You are giving us whatever it may be. You're just giving us what we want to see, which is beauty or whatever. You're just giving it. You're serving it.
You could be serving down the street. You could be serving at the club.
Yes.
You could be serving at your job.
Yes.
You know, if you are really bringing what the people want, you are serving
Yes, you're giving us
You're serving them a gift. Almost.
Yes, you're giving us a beautiful appearance, honey. You're giving us something beautiful to look at. You're serving.
I'm drinking red wine while we do this.
Well, speaking of drinking tea. He's not drinking tea, but tea is like, it's going to be like, what's the tea? So everyone you hear, I'm sure you guys hear everyone saying that, what's the tea? It just means like, what's up, basically.
Right. Like, what's the tea? What's the gossip? What's the chisme caliente? So, like, what is happening on the street, the club, anywhere you go? What's is the tea? And I also like when people serve me piping hot tea.
Yes, so which means yes, like, honey, let me sit you down. You guys need to hear this tea, and it has piping hot tea.
Because that means it's especially good.
Yes, we have gossip.
All right, what's next?
Over.
So
that just as it sounds. It's over, honey. It also comes from the ballroom scene. When someone did a really good job in their category, you'd be like, yes, bitch, that was over. Yeah, she's over. It's snatched. It's another way. It's
my
a good thing,
my favorite catchphrase right now. COVID is over because I'm over her.
And it also means over too.
Right. So because you can also be just over somebody or something.
But when you say like over, it just means like it's a good thing. It's like yes, honey.
Right. But don't you feel like it could be a two definition word?
But you wouldn't necessarily use it like ooh, COVID is over. I mean, I guess you can,
Right.
but it more so just means it's like it's a good thing.
Yeah, if we had a
But, I
first
mean-
and secondary, first and secondary, so it's so good that she's over.
Yeah.
She's over the limit
Yeah.
of perfection. She's over the limit of just wow. But you can also use
Yeah,
secondary
for sure.
definition.
Yeah, that's true.
Over, like you're just over it.
Right, for sure. The next is come for me.
Ooh, don't come for me unless I send for
Yes.
you.
Yes, honey. So if someone wants to try to read you or insult you, you would just simply say, "Don't come for me," and that basically means like, don't do it. Like, don't start this. Don't say it.
What that phrase should be would be like, "Bitch, go away."
Yeah, it's another way of saying, "Bitch, go away." Don't do it with me. No.
Because when she
Don't come for me.
She gets sassy and comes for me. I had to tell her normally because normally I'm controlling the Zoom.
Slay.
Slay all day.
Yes, honey, slay. Like, yes, it's kind of like, it's almost like you better work. It's like it's kind of like work. It's like slay, honey. Like, yes,
Right.
you're slaying. You're slaying. Like,
Your performance or your look is so good that you are slaying the entire audience
Yes.
or the people on the street or the people you're interacting
Yeah.
with. That your beauty and your aura and your regard is just so much that you have slayed them like a dragon.
yes, that exact slay. Painted.
Yes, painted.
When you are in drag or not in drag, you did any kind of makeup, honey, you are painted. But it's more so good makeup though.
Right.
Because it's a good thing, so it has to be good makeup. Like, oh yes, honey, you are painted.
Right.
But you can also kind of use it as like, you can kind of use it as like too much makeup too, I guess. Like, ooh, you're painted. But it's more so like a good thing though.
Yeah, once again, first and secondary.
Yeah.
You would use it more in the first definition. So I especially love when they say you're painted for the gold.
Yes, yes, or you're painted to fill.
Yes, or painted for Phil.
Yes.
So,
Yes, honey, painted.
all right.
Oops. Judy.
Now, I have some young trade in my life right now who's about 25. And I said to him the other day, I had him watch the Zoom show and I was like, Ronald is my good Judy.
Yes.
And it was like, I'm alarmed by the lack of just knowledge of gay history that the young people have
But
these
you would have
days.
thought they would have learned from the episode of RuPaul. At least they recently
But
spoke
I
on
mean,
it.
but what if you're not really into
Yeah,
that?
if you're not
What-
watching, well, he
you're
doesn't
not-
watch it, so yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, back in the day, they used to be like, are you a friend of Judy? To
Yeah.
signify, are you another homosexual? Because back then, 30s, 40s, 50s, everything was very coded. People weren't allowed to be out, live authentically.
We need
So
code words.
still today, and how that phrase has transitioned, like, this is my good Judy. Like,
Yeah.
this is my good friend.
Really good friend,
You
yeah.
know, like your best friend, your number one, your number two. So, yeah, it's just interesting to me, the lack of
I know.
gay history. The
Yeah,
kids
this is
don't know
definitely one of
these
the
days.
older gay words, and the young. Well, I mean, no, I know it too, though. But the young generation, like someone in the teens, like they probably don't even know what that is.
Right, and also yet again another second definition word because
Mm-hmm.
there's the more historical definition of it, and then there's the more now version of
Well,
it.
how are they using it now? What do you mean?
That's my good Judy, as opposed
Oh
to
yeah,
are
as
you a
opposed.
friend? Of
Oh yeah, you're right. That's true.
Judy,
Exactly.
so-
Yeah, yeah. A lot of these words have changed into like more meanings,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of them. The next one, otter. I drew a little otter.
So, an otter is normally a small, hairy man. So, probably between the ages of 25 to 40.
Mm-hmm.
They'll typically be seen at nightclubs called the eagle or some other type of
Yes.
animal.
And then, daddy,
Or zaddy.
or daddy with a Z.
With a Z. So daddy and zaddy actually mean two different things. Daddy can really be like an older gay gentleman who's really taking care of the younger gay gentleman. And that could be like in a long-term thing, like living in the home. That could even be like a short-term thing of him buying, drinks at the bar. Like, yes, daddy, pick up the tab.
Yes.
And then a zaddy actually is a very good-looking version of a daddy. So like an Eric
Or-
Dane, for example.
Yeah, or not even, but they don't need to look older though. They could just be cute. Like, ooh, that's daddy. Like, he's
Right.
super cute. And even daddy too. You can
But
use,
it definitely, I would say it'd be somebody more 25 and above. I don't think
At
you use
least.
it for somebody young.
well, I
who
think
could
I
make
feel like they use it now, kind of like if just someone cute, like, ooh,
But
that's
like, do you
daddy.
feel like the TikTok kids are like, oh, hey, Zaddy. Like,
I think
for
well, I feel like they say it if they're like, I feel like there's kind of like a a masculine undertone too. Like
Yeah,
if they're,
definitely.
if they're like,
Without, for both of these.
So
there's
yeah, for both of them.
masculine
So
and-
if they're like super masculine, they also I feel like they also say daddy or zaddy.
Well, let's not forget Tyra Sanchez. This is Zaddy now.
Oh,
Oh, that's true.
no, she's not daddy though, or zaddy. But
time. She's such a try-hard asshole.
she is. What is she? Yas.
Yes. So this actually doesn't even really have a definition per se. It's just something you use in a sentence. Maybe you don't even use it in a sentence right now. Like if you are really feeling the show,
Yes.
like you are like, yes, mama work, yes, mama slay. So yeah.
And I feel like at this point, it's like you straight people know it too.
Oh, so many straight
because it's just like it means exactly what it sounds. It sounds like a good thing, and it's like yes. If you hear someone saying yes, you know it's good.
I don't know if we talked about it or mentioned it before, but Jackie Beat was on Hey Queen, and she was like, you know, when people come to my show and they're like, yes, and I just look at them in the audience and I say, no. Because it can be, it's so in the straight community now that it can be a little overplayed.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the same thing as like shade is in the straight community now too.
Yeah. So many of these phrases.
So many are, yeah. This one's not yet. Gooped.
I use this one a lot because I am like, when something happens that is very dramatic, whether positive or negative, I'm like, I am gooped.
Yes.
I am gutted.
It's like another word for shocked.
Yeah, so shocked. Like
super shocked.
Like, I'm trying to think of a good example. I was thinking of Tyra once again becoming a man, but that wasn't a shock to anybody. So that was just a jerk. RuPaul's, for some reason, RuPaul's Instagram got cleared out today. Nobody really knows why. So we were very gooped about that.
We were like, what in the world? Not a single picture on the Instagram.
Because he was on the way the train to see me, and I was like, did you see this? Do we need to discuss this? And the reason we can't discuss this is because we don't got no information yet.
Yeah,
so
I'm just like,
we do not know.
Just look more into that. Yes. So if someone says something smart and you're it's kind of just like, ooh, it's like a reaction. You know, when you make that sound when someone tried it, like, so, but it's when you make the sound and it sounds more like, ooh. So like if, for example, someone was just like, ooh, girl, that is not your shade of color. And then your friend is on the side and they're like, ooh. It's like that.
And then really we have to give credit where credit is due. This really comes from Jasmine Masters.
Yeah, that's
true. And then her infamous Anna.
That's true. Jasmine did make that.
So, one of my favorite phrases.
Yes. 8. So this one, yeah, you may not know. So it also kind of comes from the ballroom scene as well. So it's just like, ooh, yes, girl, you ate the floor, like you ate it. Like you ate it, bitch.
I've heard that. Not something I really use that
Yeah,
much.
this was not.
But this is definitely a newer ball term. I wouldn't say this is
I feel like they used it
historical.
around the time his parents was burning, or at least a little bit after then maybe. But it's like it's they use it in the ballroom scene. Like I think she ate that.
More older definition of this be like you mop the floor, not mopped as in.
But
you mop the floor in awards. You mop
it's right along there with mop the floor. You're right. Yeah, yes, like she ate it, bitch. Yeah. Which is similar to, actually, brings us to turned it. Yes, bitch, like you turned it. You slayed it. Go bringing back to slayed. It's like that.
Basically, you gave a good performance.
Yes,
and when I'm saying good performance, that could be a good performance at the club. That could be a good performance on the street.
Yes.
That could be a good performance.
And not even just, I guess performance in general too, but not even necessarily like a dance performance. Like, ooh, like you could have turned a runway too. Like, you know, like you turned it, singing to, like, ooh, you turned that song.
Like Naomi Campbell always turns it on a runway, no matter what. So so there could be sort of straight cis context within turned it as well. So
I mean, they don't use it, but yeah.
Right, true.
But yeah, it can be in a straight scenario as well too. Yeah. Drag. But so drag, there is drag, obviously, like RuPaul's Drag Race, a drag queen, drag king. But then there's also drag, which is like reading, and like you're gonna insult someone like, I dragged them.
I dragged them. Okay.
Yes. So like, ooh, girl, she dragged her. So it's like you read them to filth. You really read them. You talked about them. You insulted them. You dragged them. You're talking about them. It can also mean that as well.
Your favorite.
Tried it. Yes, and I say this often to Shane because he's always trying it.
Why? With all this beauty and youth that I still have.
So tried it is just like, ooh, girl, you tried it. Like, how dare you? You tried it, as it sounds like. Basically, like you tried to come for me. You tried to insult me. You tried to insult me.
But a guy can try it too. Like he tried it. He tried to get in your pants. He tried to get with you, but you didn't want it.
Yeah, like they tried to do something. So it's either they tried to read you, they tried to.
I don't want no scrub, okay?
Yes, tried it. Geesh.
Now this one, when we were doing the cards, I was like,
Yes, this is really from the ballroom. So geesh is actually another word for drag. So they'll often say, "Ooh, girl, like I gotta take this wig off. It's time to get out of geesh. Time to take off this drag." Or ooh, God, I have to get in geesh for this performance. I have to get in drag. For drag.
Is the origin of the word like geisha? Like
yeah,
geisha? Okay.
It comes from geisha.
Okay.
So yeah,
I don't understand
geesh. Sitting. Have you heard sitting? It's kind of like, so you could be like if you do if you have really good makeup, your friend could be like, "Ooh, honey, your makeup is sitting today."
Oh, like sitting on your face beautifully. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
And I don't know if it necessarily came from like how you make up like sets, but I don't know. I'm reaching there, but I guess it could kind of, but it's just like it's sitting though. It's just like yes, it's sitting well, it's sitting nice.
Just out of curiosity for the kids at home, is there a secondary definition like you're sitting like so? Or is it just makeup? Is it just face?
It's mainly makeup, but it could be clothes too. Like, ooh, that illusion is sitting. I guess you can use it for your clothes too, like an illusion.
Yeah.
But it's like
because that's what I originally thought. But then you said sitting, setting. Then it all.
It's definitely not like literally sitting down though, but it's more in reference to like your illusion, whether it be face, makeup, or clothing. I should have put illusion, actually.
Now, this one I can use in a sentence, but the actual definition of it, I don't really know if I could define it. Like, you're bringing the house down boots. Yeah, I get that. But how would you define
down boots? So down boots is just kind of like, I guess you can, like, I guess you can kind of equate it to, like, hella. No? Like, because it's emphasizing what it is. So you would say like she danced the house down boots. So it's kind of like saying she danced hella.
Oh, okay. So just like extra,
yeah.
Okay.
I would say it's like that. I would say it's more like that, yeah.
Okay. You use this word.
Yeah, I use this word a lot, and Shane had to know about this one.
I really didn't understand because I literally had to ask you. Literally one day I was like, late. What do you mean late? I was like, this was like 15 years ago.
You didn't have to ask once. So late, it's just like it's tired, it's late, it's not now,
it's
kind
not
of.
Accurant.
Yeah, it's like not current, it's not now. So it's a bad thing. It's just like, oh girl, that's late. Like, oh no, that's not good. That's late.
And then this is a newer term with the kids?
This one's
middle.
Yeah, middle. I would say more middle.
Okay. Or taking you real basic. Queen. So this could have so many.
So yeah, this can have a lot of meanings though.
This could have.
You have your normal queen like RuPaul's Drag Race.
Well, that's drag queen. So
yeah.
Let's be very specific.
But you can say like, oh, look at that queen, and you can call a drag queen just a queen too,
definitely,
though.
Definitely.
But yeah, this one's more specific, and it's like, oh, you're such a queen, like. I guess kind of like flamboyant
right,
too.
like a feminine gay man, or maybe even not even a feminine gay man, or maybe just the man is actually really haughty, like really grand, like you're being such a queen.
Yeah, you're such a queen, like you're so extra, like a queen is like that too, yeah.
So many incarnations, and then a lot of the cisgender people are using queen now.
Well, now they're using queen, because now they know what it means.
They're like, yes, I'm the queen. I'm the, Okay, yes. Wait, show my drawing.
Yes.
Bear.
Although this one was like a dog, but
I am not an artiste. So a bear is a larger sized gentleman. I would say usually over 200 pounds, bordering probably 200 to 400. So usually taller. Doesn't necessarily need to be taller, but usually taller, around 6 foot. And so, and definitely most of the time over 25 to really any age, probably. And they are very much a microcosm within their own community, within the gay community. They are a community onto their own. They really hang together, roll together, Bear Week, that type of thing. So, but I've had good experiences with the bears.
Yes, they are their own community. He's right about that for sure. Yeah. Just like, well, and then there's like and then within that there's the bear, and then like the otter. They're still kind of the same community, you'd say, right?
Yeah, they're definitely related. I think otter is just somebody who's younger. I think somebody who's like a Finn Daniels.
Well, I thought otter was a little bit smaller though.
Yes, a little bit smaller and a little bit younger. But I think once you reach over 35, I think it's kind of all bear from there.
Right.
So
then Gold Star Gay.
Now I'm a little confused about this between this and a platinum gay. So let me say it and then you tell me if I'm right. So Gold Star gay is you've never had sex with a woman.
Never done anything with a woman, yeah.
Never done anything with a woman. And then we're going to get into platinum gay next, which I think I know, but don't. Well, let's just do it now.
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
So platinum gay.
So gold star gay, gold
Yeah.
star gay is, as you said, never done anything with a woman. Like, you never touched a woman, like, and never really kissed them. Yeah, never kissed them, never went down there, anything. And then a platinum gay is you just did not have any kind of contact with them in any way.
Right.
So that means not even birth.
Right,
So
that's what I
me.
thought. Yeah. So, you were born cesarean section.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
my mom had a C-section.
Yeah.
So I'm a platinum gay. He's a gold star gay.
Now, how did the platinum gay even come about? Because that's so specific.
I know. Well, I mean, I guess they were figuring like you haven't gone anywhere near the female anatomy at all. So now there needs to be another one, and then they have platinum gay. So yeah.
Right.
Well, we're
okay.
both holding our actual cards because he's a gold star and then I'm a platinum.
Exactly. Okay, well, let's turn our cards around.
Yes.
So, twink, what I used to be. So,
I know. Yes.
If you saw, sometimes you'll see them on my Instagram. Like, if you see a picture of me, like 17 to 19, like if you look up twink in
It
Wikipedia.
means young, but it
doesn't
also
mean-
kind of just means skinny and hairless. Because
Right.
I was like right now, and I shaved for this because we thought we were going to do something and I ended up shaving. But I would just call myself a twink now too.
I literally like don't have a category anymore because like I'm not a twink, I'm not a twunk, I'm not an otter. So it's like I'm out there in no man's land now. I gotta like invent something for myself.
I mean, I guess if we had to put you in something, then maybe otter.
I'm not hairy though at all. I don't have any chest hair.
That's true. Well,
Literally,
queen.
like none.
Well,
Yeah.
I would give you queen.
Yeah, queen definitely, but I feel like that's also so general.
It is. That's true. And then pump.
Pump. I'm pumping to the club.
Yes.
I'm pumping to work. I'm pumping. You could be pumping on the Muni. You could be pumping on the subway. You could be pumping on the MTA.
Yes.
You could be pumping into the club.
Yeah.
You could be pumping
It's-
at your job.
Yeah, it's walking, but it's like walking, kind of like walking with authority, walking on beat.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're pumping, honey. Like, and it kind of is like it's walking on beat, but it's also kind of like moving fast too. Like, oh, she's pumping, honey, because it doesn't necessarily have to be in like a runway setting. It can kind of be like you're pumping down the street, and in that case, it'd be like you're walking fast.
And we have all seen it in the Castro to the West Village of just that queen
Yes,
listening to her
but it's
music
normally to some sort of
and
music.
just
A lot of the times.
pumping down the street.
Yes, they're playing a Britney song or
Right.
something, honey.
And we've all had to pump to our jobs.
Yes.
Music or no music.
Right? Okay. Banji. She wrote it
Banji.
hella small,
You're
but-
giving me a Banji girl effect.
Yeah.
She's dropping her little brother off at school. You over there.
Banji, right? And if we had to just simplify it to like the most simple way, it would be kind of just like ratchet.
Right.
And you guys know what ratchet means.
I am not a Banji girl.
And then bring it down from ratchet. If you don't know what ratchet means, it would kind of be, I guess, like ghetto.
Right. Giving me a Banji girl effect.
Yes.
Think Hayward.
Or if they know, if that's what they know.
Or somewhere the subway doesn't go in the Bronx.
They'll know that better. Because not many people know Hayward, no shade. Unless you're from California. But, okay. What is the...
Henny.
Honey, or honey.
So my favorite version of Henny is from Miss Stacey Lane Matthews.
Well, she's the most famous.
She's the most famous, so for her honey. But it just means like, gosh, this is another one where it's something I say so much, but it's so hard to define. So it's just like, if something's cute, if something's on point.
Yeah, it's just kind of
you
like...
know, like honey.
Yeah, it's just like,
look cute.
honey. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's I guess it's almost, you can kind of almost use it like girl, kind of. Like, can't you just
Yeah.
use girl for no reason? It's kind of like girl. Just like girl, like you add, you know how we'll just add girl to the end of everything? You can be like honey or girl or end your sentence with honey just for that extra.
She's serving these cakes, honey.
Yes. Cut.
Cut.
Cunt. So cunt is some people will think it is derogatory.
Many.
Yeah, but
So I've gotten in trouble for using this word in front of the cis.
yeah, cis straight people will often think it's offensive, much like fish. Did I put fish? Do you remember writing fish?
Yeah, fish is somewhere in
Yeah,
here.
much like fish, but they think it's derogatory, but it doesn't come from that. A lot of the times, and this comes back to like the ballroom and just gay culture in general, some of these words were actually created by trans people, and they needed to use, there was code because they couldn't just go around talking about like the gender or transitioning into, so that a lot of these words are code. So when you hear, so they often would use fish for like, oh, I'm fish, or I'm serving fish, for just saying they're a woman, just like talking about like being a woman. So they used it like for ways like that, and same thing for cunt. But it's not in a derogatory word. It's actually like, because you have to understand, in the gay community, they idolize women. So it may sound like it's a derogatory term, but it's kind of just our way of, it was just a word that we created, A, for like code, but then B, just, it's like our slang, and it wasn't with malicious intent when it was made. It just you can see it as it, but it wasn't made.
Right, and I look at it, I very much, learned this word from, New York, and I wasn't very, I was very much a downtown person and not really uptown at the balls or anything like that, but this was very popular in the downtown scene. Coco Aviance and all that Aviance crew just being like, you look cunt, bitch, that's so cunt.
But it's like, I've noticed, like, well, both cunt and fish, but I've noticed, like, recently there's been, like, things where, like there's this trans people are getting in trouble for saying it because now the cis women are getting offended by it. And mind you, this is a word.
Well, the trans people don't even really like fish anymore, so because they're saying,
they still use it.
I think certain subsects use it, but I think there's also another subset that really is like, well, the goal isn't to look like a woman,
Well, no, but we know, but the thing is, everyone like acknowledges, like, no, we're not saying that's the goal, but it's just, we can't help the fact that it's a word that we use when we want to say someone is serving like something, you know what I mean, in one of those things. So it's not meant to be used as like in like any kind of like hateful way. It's just a word that we use, but it's but we have, but like, for example, like we can't get like, it's just part of our culture. So I get it, but it's like, you don't police us on words that we created for like
within our own community.
Within our own community. Because then if you're going to borrow words like shade and slay and all those from us,
I have such a difficult time with all this whole language police thing. You can't say this, you can't say that. And I think it's like, we're all in this together. We're all, I just think it's taking a lot of the fun out of the gay community. And that's what I really miss, is the fun.
Yeah.
Because everything's become so political and everything's become so politically correct, and those are two separate conversations. But I just miss when it was
because like I said, a lot of these words were created just for like their safety to be able to use those words, so they don't want to like so they have to have code words, and they kind of created these words. So it's just like I feel like well, first of all, there was no malicious intent when the word was created. It was just figuring out a word that they thought was right to be the code word. So it's not like there was ever malicious intent or thinking when they made the word. That's another thing too to realize. But like I said, it's just like part of words that we created in our community that gay people and so long ago too. So to be policing it now, but then wanting to use words like shade and honey, it's like, well, you can't pick and choose what words you want to take from our community, because these are all from our community. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. All right, so drag mother and daughter.
Yes.
So a drag mom is a more established drag queen who's probably been on the scene at least 5 years or more,
for sure.
So to full legend status. And then a daughter is somebody they either adopt into their house or somebody they just adopt into their family.
Right.
So there could be the House of Aviance that I mentioned earlier, the House of Edwards,
right.
The house, what other houses are there? So I mean,
just like all the balls.
And all the classical ones of Saint Laurent and Extravaganza.
Yeah, you put them in like it's your drag moment, and it's often the person who first put you into drag or got you into drag.
Exactly, and a good example of this would be Vanessa Vanchi Mateo and Alexis Mateo. So Mateo drag mother and daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
So so it's good. Everybody loves a drag mom.
Family, honey.
Right. So actually, my drag mom and my real mom get along really well. So my drag mom, my real mom loves my drag mom. So
yes, honey.
Gag.
Yes, we use this a lot.
So she's a gag. It just means like she's interesting. She is just somebody that your eye naturally gravitates towards, somebody you're intellectually interested in, somebody you may think that's funny, if somebody you may think that's beautiful,
I would say it's more funny though.
I would say it's more funny, but you could be like, I'm gagged by her beauty.
Oh yeah, you could say that too. You're right.
Right. So there's many,
Yeah,
there's
you're right.
actually many definitions and many
Right.
layers of gagged.
You're right.
And what you, but I think it's anything that kind of causes you to go,
Yeah, because
you
it can be
know,
shock too. Like,
so-
oh, I'm gagged. It can
right,
be shock too.
exactly.
You're right.
Yeah. So it could be many things. You and like let's just take some examples. You're probably gagged by Heidi N Closet's humor. You're probably gagged by Valentina's beauty.
Exactly.
You're probably gagged by Sharon Needles even because she kind of maybe spooked you the first
For
time.
sure.
You know, so there's many different ways. There's anything that gagged is really anything that gives you a kind of feeling that is either
For
positive
sure.
or negative.
For sure. Red to filth.
So I actually used this at like 2 jobs ago with some cis people, and they were just like, they didn't know because I was like, "Why are you reading me to filth?" And they were like, "What? What are you?" Because they were like chopping on my outfit, and so it's just like it's that. It's like when you were giving like a read, like the library's open read, and you are just like torn apart,
You're
like you
reading
are
them to
chopped,
filth. Like you're going
like a tree,
super far, right?
So far that that person can't have any comeback.
Exactly. Like there's red, and then there's red to filth. You mutilated them.
My favorite red to filth example actually would probably be a cisgender example when Kenya and
Ooh, that's taking it back.
I know Kenya and what's the lawyer's name?
The lawyer.
For Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Kenya and from Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah.
The lawyer though.
And when she's like,
Phaedra.
Phaedra. When Phaedra was reading Kenya about going to the sperm banks, and she was like, "At least I'm not trolling every weekend at the sperm banks, not knowing if my baby daddy is going to be a serial killer because he needs $10 for a slice of pizza."
Oh yeah.
And then they go reading Rainbow.
That is red to filth.
That is the perfect example of red to filth. If you need an example,
Yes, honey.
because Kenya was so red, and Kenya always has something to say.
She does.
She was speechless.
Yes, it's like you read them to filth. You can't come back from it.
There's no more. You're dead.
You're dead.
Chopped, ground.
Right. Snatched.
Snatched. Now, snatched can also have many reasons. I like to say, like, she's snatched.
Yes,
like,
it can be a snatched
she's
waist,
so, like,
small.
Yeah, like Violet Chachki.
Yeah, like Violet Scott, she is snatched. Like her waist is snatched, she's snatched. But then it can also just mean like pretty, beautiful.
It can be overall look, overall illusion. Valentina, that's another
example. And then your overall illusion can be snatched. So it's kind of just like nice. It's almost just like saying nice. Like, oh, that's nice.
Just
whatever.
Everything is so good.
Yeah,
whether that's
good.
the face or the body or even both, that you are snatched. You are so perfectly composed.
Yes, it's snatched.
Yeah, that you're snatched.
Yes, honey. Going through it. Yes.
Always. So this just means you are like going through something. You're going through type of emotion. Usually it is not positive. You could be fired from your job. You could break up with your man. You could lose your apartment.
Yes.
Donald Trump could be reelected.
Yes.
There are many ways you could
So
be
you're just going through it, honey. You're just done. Like, oh, you're going
My
through
additional layer, I actually don't even know if I like said this to you because I've actually been like in a good space since we've been hanging out. So, but I love going through it. And then my secondary to going through it is called Being in the Bell Jar in reference to the Sylvia Plath novel. So in the bell jar, Sylvia Plath sticks her head in the oven to commit suicide. So like going through it is level 1 for me. Going level 2 is in the bell jar. I'm about to put my head in the oven and kill myself.
Drew. Sashay, Shantae, Peddler on the runway, do it. Oh, yes. So Sashay, Shantae, it's walking.
Walking.
There's sassy,
nothing
basically.
Else. So, and I love that this phrase has, it was in Paris is Burning, but I don't think it was like a major word arc of the story. Rue really put it, and so, but it's in her supermodel. It's in her first hit where she's like Sashay, Shantae.
Shantae.
My God, I can't believe I never told you this story. I can't believe I've never told you the story on camera. Most importantly, so when I was in the 6th grade. That's when Rue like first started coming out, like came out with Supermodel, and I grew up in this like super Catholic, Modesto, community, and one of the moms was like overhead. I remember sitting at my desk and she was like, tall, and I remember just hearing, she goes, "It's just terrible what that RuPaul is doing on the MTV with the kids." And I just remember I just looked up and I go, I actually really like her.
Well, she probably didn't like when Madonna was either.
No, they didn't like anything. But that was the thing. It's like I saw that Sashay Shantae, and I was like, whenever I felt bad, I just played those words. in my
Sachet,
head.
honey.
Just kept on moving.
Wait, did you do the one more?
Oh, chop. Did we do chop?
Uh-uh.
Oh, we didn't do chop. Sorry, a very important one. Chop.
This comes straight from the ballroom scene.
Right.
So when you went for your category, whether it be walking, face, runway, whatever, if the judges didn't give you a 10, like we talked about earlier, you would get chopped. So that means you're out.
Right. But I think even if you got like a 9.
Well, if you got a 9s too.
Like,
but
like
yeah,
if you got like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah,
across the board, chops.
No, because then you would get through, but then when it comes to like when you have to like break it down and be like who needs to go, you would literally be like, okay, this one is chopped. Like
right,
chopped.
and we can even see it on RuPaul's Drag Race today. They chop somebody every single week,
right?
You know, based on their skills.
Because they'll ask you like this person, and then you'd be like yes or. Chopped.
Once again, multiple meanings though with this word. You can get chopped from your job.
Yeah, now it's
you
been
can get
used within
chopped.
the gay community for other things too.
You
like,
could get chopped from the club if you're wearing a bad outfit.
Yeah.
You know,
well, now it kind of just means no. Now you kind of use it for no.
Chop from a peer group.
Yeah, so it's like chop.
All right, we ran out of cards, so we had to be ghetto with white paper.
Yes.
Trade.
So, trade would be. It's actually a category too, and ballroom too.
That's really where it originated
from.
It's also
and it's
metamorphosized.
Yeah, and if you were to break it down to its simplest form, it would just kind of be like reading as though you aren't gay, basically.
There's a lot of trade in my life.
Like they don't look gay, basically. Masculine, super masculine. Not even just like they don't look gay or just like super masculine.
Right. But you know what's interesting though? I think the sort of almost not even secondary meaning, but third meaning of this that they're using on RuPaul Drag Race now. Like he's the trade of the season, like Cameron Michaels. Well, and now they're all fighting to be who's the trade of the season.
Well, it's kind of means now kind of like masculine, but it's almost kind of just like cutest too. It kind of is like cutest as well.
Right. I love when they were like Jada was trying to put herself as the trade of the season, and I was like.
Oh, I mean, well, who else was it going to be though, I guess?
I guess that's true, but I love when Heidi was like, maybe Jada's not the trade of the season.
Oh, that's true. But Cameron Michaels definitely was a trade of the season.
I mean, there's no better perfect definition than that. So, like when they did that wood chopping challenge or that wood chopping commercial, and people were like, we waited 10 episodes for this.
Yes. Shablam, or also known as death drop. Yes. Comes from voguing when you see the people do the
Actually, we were talking about this earlier this evening. There is no better example of Shablam
Laganja
than Laganja too.
Laganja's a good one from Drag Race at least.
But Aja. Like Aja,
we're talking about
Aja went off that cube
on All Stars
and then landed in that perfect Shablam. That literally could be a Wikipedia. If Wikipedia was video, that would be a Shablam.
Yeah, so it's basically you throw yourself and you land on your back with your leg up.
It's a stunt. It's a stunt. Yeah, because the Shablam could be like a very fast split. You know, because it doesn't count as a death drop.
It needs to be on your back.
It does. Okay. Because I wasn't sure. Because I thought, you put Shablam death drop.
Yeah, slash. Because some people call it
because the death drop needs to be backwards. A Shablam could just be kind of any dramatic movement, like a split, right?
I feel like they both should be both because they're both technically the same.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought they were two different things.
No, they're the same. That's why I put them next to each other. It's just like it's like you should be on your back with your leg up, but
you live, you learn.
Yeah, I know. The split would just be like that's just a stunt.
Okay.
A split would be a stunt. Eleganza.
Who's a good example of eleganza? I wouldn't say Jada Essence Hall is the best example of eleganza, but she definitely is a version of that.
Yeah, so kind of just like elegant, but
elegant, very in that like pageant way of like the gown, the classic beauty, the classic elegance.
They're gagging on your eleganza, like
right, exactly.
You're gagging at your elegance, air, kind of.
Exactly.
Eleganza. Clock.
Ooh, or clocked.
Or
past
tense.
tense.
Another word. So you can use this one twice as well too. So clock could mean like you recognize that person, whether it be like kind of like, let's say a drag queen's in drag and it's just like, I can clock that as a drag queen. I can clock that it's a man in drag. Or unfortunately, and they do sometimes use it as like trans women who aren't passable, they will say like she's clockable or I clocked her, which is kind of like I realized that she's a trans person. They would sometimes use it like that. And then or if the person's in drag, like, ooh girl, like clock this drag queen, like clock her in drag, because it's basically pointing out that you know what they were born as, if you will.
Why did I get pointed out?
Just basically, if you know what you're basically saying that you know what that person was about and kind of like almost like outing them. And then you can also use it as like, but then you can also use it if you want to bring attention to something to like, oh girl, clock her, or like, so it's kind of like, look at her. So it's just like bringing attention to, kind of. Clock. Anything else on clock?
Well, now the gays are using it like clocking gay as straight. Did you clock him as gay?
Yeah, you're right. You can use that too. Or it's not even necessarily.
So yeah, the definite origin of the word was the balls and more drag and trans,
more drag and trans. But now it's just
nowadays.
Like, well, that's what I said. Now it's just like paid, like notice that person, kind of. So it's like notice that queen, notice that gay.
Well, I mean, we could even use it. I just picked up a woman at the train station now, and he was like, "Oh, did you clock those 2 other gays?"
Yes.
So
yes.
So it's just you. Anything that you notice now can be clocked.
Exactly.
So there definitely was an origin of the word, but it's definitely metamorphosized into something else.
For sure. Beat.
Beat means you'll beat for the gods. And when we say beat with makeup. So you are so beautifully brushed that your face looks as if it's been beat by powder.
Yes, honey. Beat. Shade.
So this, is anything that is like a read. You told a small truth about a person that you pointed out, and
insulting to some way,
or insulting. So
yeah, basically, like I would just say, basically insulting.
Yeah. Also, a Paris
smart ass remark.
A Paris is burning origin word. So. Told you, 75% what's going to happen today. Paris is burning.
That is the base of everything. That's the source of a lot of these words.
Now, I didn't know what this was. I'm assuming this is a butch lesbian, a chapstick lesbian?
So a chapstick lesbian, I thought, a chapstick lesbian is basically like it's because there's the lipstick lesbian, which is the more feminine, and then like chapstick is like the more masculine then.
Right.
More bare bones, like not as
just because I'm getting education in this word, does it have any connotations to like crunchy granola lesbians, or is it just
I guess it would be close to that.
Butcher?
I think it's more butcher, because I think it's just more so the polar opposite of
like
lipstick.
A lesbian who lives in Berkeley.
Yeah, well, I think it's just more so the direct opposite of a lipstick one, since the lipstick is the more like femme one. I guess the chapstick is the more like.
That's what we should do. We really should have a lesbian on the show, so we can just really.
We should, because there's a lot. That's true. Because I have to admit, I don't know that much about the lesbian culture.
So much syntax, so many layers.
Yeah. Wait, what did you write?
Gaysian.
Oh yeah, Gaysian.
I get mistakes for this a lot. So this is a gay man who is Asian.
Yeah,
I mean, it's as simple as that. It could be butch, it could be queen, it could be anything. It could range from kimchi to, I don't even know, like a really butch example of a
with Rock'em Sakura.
Oh, well, I said butch.
Well, no, they don't need to be butch, though.
Oh, yeah, no, they don't need to be anything. So I wish I knew that cute Asian boy's name who's in the pit crew for Drag Race. I don't know.
Oh, and I shot him before, too. I forget, though.
Yeah, that would be a Gaysian.
Yeah.
It's very cute Gaysian.
But yeah, but they don't need to be cute, though. It's just a gay Asian,
right,
though, in general.
Yeah, but literally, it could be any incarnation.
Pup.
Layers once again. There is those people who are like full on, like Folsom Street Fair, like in the puppy pen with the dog owner.
Right.
Not my jam. But I think there's kind of like a more less severe element of that community where you just get the collar and that you're like tied to that owner.
Yeah. And
so,
you're owned by someone. Is it like kind of like that too?
Yeah, once again, this is yet another, we probably should have like a puppy play expert.
Yeah, this is necessarily our thing. You don't know that as much.
The cutest guy in Arizona who was like really into that.
It's part of that.
Like I said, I am like,
yeah,
I'm really open-minded. It just makes me so
well, it's a part of that scene.
It just makes me so uncomfortable.
Drag mom.
Oh, we already
talked about drag mom.
Yeah. Gym bunny.
So
the gym bunnies are having problems right now with COVID because
they can't go to the gym.
I mean, this is interesting because they're just in this current moment because so many gay men's identity, literally identity, is wrapped up in the gym.
Well, they're still
you
doing
know?
it, though. They're working on it. At
Yeah,
home.
I mean, I think that they have to, but I think it's also that, and I think a lot of these gym bunnies too are sober as well. So it's really their only way of like socializing with other gay men is at the gym. So, gym bunnies, I hope it's going to get better for you soon. So.
But yeah, so it's basically a gay guy who spends a lot of time at the gym, though.
Shout out to gym bunnies looking for a good workout. I am doing my Turbo 26 workouts on my Zoom at home. So get into it.
Are you hosting it?
No.
What do you mean? Then why are you?
They asked me to teach at the studio.
Well, then why are you plugging them?
Well, I mean, it's something I enjoy, Dan.
Well, I don't think the gym bunnies want to do no yoga, honey, with no queens. I'm just kidding.
Well,
but
they need to stretch. No, it's so funny. It is so funny when like the ultimate gym bunnies take these classes with me. Like if they go to a Pilates class or they use a reformer or they do it, like it's just like no flexibility, no anything.
Well, yeah, because I'm saying because oftentimes, not all the time, but normally I would say the gym bunny is more into weights and like muscle. But not always, but yeah.
All
just in
right.
general.
Shout out to Tangi Silva, the fag hag.
Yes, fag hag, yes. It's basically a gay best friend. I mean, a female cisgender, normally cisgender best friend to a gay male.
What would be the non-cisgender version?
But the thing is, you're supposed to treat if it's like a woman, I think respectfully, you should still call the trans woman a fag hag too, because they should be viewed as a heterosexual. If they are heterosexual, you should view them as a heterosexual. You should view them as like just a woman in general.
I get that. I get that, but I guess historically they've been reared in the gay community in some way, shape, or form, so they have a better understanding. Yeah. Not to say that fag hags
That's
don't.
True. That's true. You are right though.
Like my fag hag has probably a better understanding of the gay community than even I do.
You're right. You're right. It is normally a straight cisgender person who is not.
Yeah, I say 90% of the time. So.
But I feel like because I mean, well, what would you call it? You're right though. Like, what would you call a trans person who's the best friend of a gay friend? I mean, I guess you could say Judy, but
gay. Yeah, I'd say Judy.
Yeah,
really, on all honesty.
But yeah, it is. Yeah, but yeah, it is technically straight. But yeah.
Because I think they still have an understanding of the deep emotions
they're still part of the community. That's true.
Has.
That's true. It is supposed to be a straight female.
But we were actually talking about this with Enrique Iglesias the other day. Is he still with that Anna Kay, that tennis player? I was like, he has some super blonde children, and I didn't even realize they had children because we were talking about Ricky. And
so like Lance Bass had a beard for a while.
Oh yeah, he had several beards.
Yeah, so it's just basically a straight person, a gay person who's using a straight person. Well, it's mainly a gay man who's using a straight cisgender woman, or just a cisgender woman, right, as their cover up.
Right. I actually have a last man story if you want to hear it.
Oh, sure.
So it was probably like 2006. I was working for Getty Images as a fashion editor, but it was really close with the editor-in-chief of OK magazine, and that's when like Us Weekly, OK, people like, it was like Angelina's Baby Shot, Britney's Crazy, like that's when that was really happening. So we went to this thing in the Hamptons, and Lance was dating Riken, that pilot back then. So Riken...
was it the Riken from A-List?
Yeah, back then. Literally, I'm not kidding, the two most boring people on earth. There are no two people...
Lance and Riken?
So boring.
Really?
Now, I can get along with any gay man. Like butch, femme, queen, corporate, twink, otter. You can take me to the Eagle. You could take me to gay in London. You could take me fucking anywhere. I will be fun. I will be funny. I'll be nice. I'll get along with everybody. That's why I get invited to shit. Literally could not find a common thread with these two. Tried for like 6 hours. Drinking.
Yeah.
Hamptons. Limo. Fun. Duds.
Really?
So duds. Speaking of, my best friend, my fag hag, Tangi Silva, was with me. We need to have her on the show because she will speak to what...
Yeah. Wait, was that your segue for fag hag?
That was just my story about Lance Bass and how boring he was. Literally the most boring person on earth. I could not even begin to describe how... He wasn't awful. Like, he wasn't awful, like, abrasive. Right. He was just that. He was just really, really boring. Like, there's just nothing...
I'm not too surprised. He doesn't seem like the most, like... He doesn't strike me as the most...
I literally would have rather hung out with Joey Fatone for 6 hours than Lance Bass.
Well, he does seem like a gag.
Kiki, Let's have a kiki.
Yes. Yes, let's have a kiki. You want to have a kiki, yes. If you guys didn't hear that song, but that was one of the songs that kind of brought it to everyone's attention, but...
So Kiki also has kind of metamorphosized because originally it was like a house party, like your good Judy's.
Yeah,
you know,
like, well, it's kind of just like
music.
good Judy's getting together.
Right, exactly. But it's kind of more broadened to like, let's have a Kiki at the club, let's have a Kiki at brunch. Let's, I think it's really generalized for anything that's like a good time.
Yeah, or you can even use it, because I kind of sometimes use it as like, oh, they're over there kikiing. So it's kind of over there, like, over there talking and gossiping.
Yeah,
like
when we used to freelance together, like work, like getting paid, we like kiki.
Yeah, we kiki as like gossip and just like talk. So it's kind of like it's kind of like gays getting together and just...
Right, exactly. Because it's like, where are we going to kiki at lunch? Where are we going to kiki after
work?
Like,
kind of like talking, getting together in general. Which is different from kai kai, though.
I only had one kai kai moment my whole life.
Really?
And it was like recent too. It was like only 4 years ago. I'm not going to say his name.
Well, the thing is, your version is because he's using it more as like two feminine people getting together.
No. This is when I did that little drag reemergence.
Okay.
Like there was like in drag.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So technically, it's two drag queens getting together.
I went through 10 years of drag in New York, and I never got into that.
So did you? Well, you were both in drag, but I mean, you got out of it. It's not like you stayed in it. Yeah. But I mean, that still counts.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So because like you can't really go through all that in drag, but yeah, no, it's when two queens get together. So it can either be two drag queens, like full,
but then the gays have kind of turned it into two feminine.
Once again, more morphosized.
Yeah, they turned it into two feminine gays. Too.
Right. So,
but it originally was two drag queens. So what's her name from the last season? And
Gigi Good and Crystal Method.
Yeah, technically that would be Kai Kai.
Right. Or even Vanessa Vanjie Mateo in Brooklyn Heights.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Those are two versions. Technically that would be Kai Kai because they're both two drag queens. Camp is an older word, but he's definitely camp. It's just extra theatrical.
Right, exactly. This really harkens to, like, my favorite example of camp would be John Waters' Hairspray film that was in 1988, and it had Divine and early Ricky Lake and Deborah Harry and Sonny Bono. And it talked about all of these very, like, serious, social issues, with race in the 60s in Baltimore. But it was done in such a fun way, that it was so... campy.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just that. It was just the heightened sense of reality that was really, really camp.
Who from Drag Race would you say is camp? I guess, what was, not even from this season, what was...
Tammy Brown.
Yeah, Tammy Brown's camp. That's a good example.
Tammy's
of camp.
very, very, very Brits. Which I actually miss the element of camp on Drag Race because there's not many of them chosen these days. True. Maybe an element, but I wouldn't say anybody who's a true camp queen.
True. What about who you got into it with?
Maybe like Thor.
Not who you got into it with?
Jan. No, Jan's just doesn't know who she is. Sorry, girl. Love ya. Love and light.
Fish. And as I talked about earlier.
Ah, yes. Yeah, Fish. So that's like when you were just looking really real, just very like fishy. But like how did they see animal come into it? Like that's what I don't understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's no there's no no reason and no malicious intent with the word. It's just they just I don't know why it's fish, but they just chose the word fish, I guess. But it's just like it's a way of saying like feminine and woman
and passable,
like you're serving fish. So it's really a good thing,
right? Exactly.
And drag queens, trans people, trans women thrive and to be fish. So
it's kind of like that conversation that like Gia Gunn and Milk were having on their season when Milk kind of did that like campy Broadway look, and then Gia Gunn was like, drag is to look like a woman, to look like fish. Milk is not that. Milk is camp.
Remember what did Gina used to say? She just rolled in like fresh tilapia.
Tilapia. Yes, I love that. Feeling my oats.
Yes. Twist.
Y'all wanted a twist.
Yes. Wait, who said that?
Laganja.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when she came in?
Well, how did she mean it, actually?
Because she came in and then she did the death drop and she was like, y'all wanted a twist? Like a twist on the entrance.
Oh, she did a twist on the entrance.
But then that really took flight when Trixie and Katya did it on So when they were like, and then Trixie said to, Katya, she's like, y'all wanted a twist, and then Katya just fell out. And that's when it really
caught
fire.
Well, that's how she used it, but in the ballroom scene, it's actually for a fight.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, ooh, girl, we're gonna have it. Like, ooh, girl, they're over there twisting.
Oh, yeah, I can see
Like,
that.
ooh,
Yeah.
like, ooh, like we're about to twist, or they're about to twist, they're about to fight.
Is that Paris's Burning Orchids? Or
It's about that time, yeah. It's about that time. It's an older one.
Actually, I haven't heard that.
Or if it's not older, it's like mid.
So once again, 2 definitions.
Yes. Can't
Oh,
take.
Can't take her.
Yes.
Can't take her nowhere
Yes.
because she's
So
too fish. She's too.
Right, but you can also use
tilapia.
it. Yeah, like, but it's also kind of like if you have that friend who's like jealous of you or always reading you for like your illusion or something, you'd be like, "Oh, girl, she can't take me." It's kind of almost like saying she can't handle it. It's like she can't handle it. She's jealous. She can't handle. She can't take me.
You can't take it. You're just an overgrown orangutan.
So
Oh, you want to go back to being a man now?
Yes, definitely from Paris's Burning Time.
Hi, Tyra Sanchez.
Femme Queen. Yes. Well, no. So Femme Queen in its actual term, coming from the ballroom scene, because in the ballroom scene there's Femme Queen and Butch Queen. So the Femme Queen is often a trans person, more like a trans person, or giving female, actual female. But then a Butch Queen is a gay man that's just a gay man, basically, oftentimes feminine, but just a gay man, really. And then, but you can do, if it's a Butch Queen who's, normally Femme Queen really just meant trans though, but if it was a Butch Queen that was in drag, that would be more so for a category that was the Butch Queen in drags. But you wouldn't necessarily do, there's Butch Queen. You wouldn't necessarily do Butch Queen as a Femme Queen, because a Femme Queen's more of like a trans thing. Yes.
I spilled on my shirt.
You spelled wine, honey.
No, I spilled water.
Oh, it's water.
I
thought it was the wine. It's just gonna stain.
flaming. So this actually I was gonna say, I feel like this is like a bridge between the Paris's Burning generation and then his, and like
flaming isn't so much from the ballroom scene. This is more of just like, honestly, if I had to say it was a white gay word, it is a white gay word.
Yeah, so this word was used a lot with me when I was younger. So, but I think it's just anybody who's like flamboyant. Extra loud, you know, kiki.
Yes, like she's a flame. You'll hear him say she's a flaming queen. She's flaming. She's just super gay, super flamboyant.
Right, exactly.
Definitely her.
Which I don't feel is a negative.
No one said it's a bad thing.
Fuck you all.
And then last one, we talked about it already, which was lipstick lesbian, and that's the feminine, the more makeup
Think
lesbian,
like
if you will.
L-word lesbians, like very like I.
It's kind of like the opposite of Ellen.
I live.
Well, Ellen's wife is a lipstick lesbian.
Yeah, I live for a good lipstick lesbian. Like there is like no like. That's like really the reality. My real dream is like to be a great lipstick lesbian, because they're Portia de Rossi. I want your life, riding horses and living in Santa Barbara. Sign me up. So that is it.
Yes, that is it.
No, I was very worried this was going to go over an hour, but we're actually at
We're at an
57
hour now,
minutes
right?
exactly. So, and we got through a lot. That was like
that was a lot.
literally everything.
Yeah, we did every gay word pretty much. Pretty much every gay word.
Okay, so we're going to do like, I have finals. I'm in like these 5-week like grad school cycles right now, so it's very, very intense. So we're gonna do like a music video in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and
we have things coming.
Yeah, we got things coming, and then I think we'll keep a little up with the Drag Race.
Yes.
Weekly, but we got some stuff brewing.
Yes,
but we're gonna get to slang. We've been trying to do slang.
Yeah,
for
we've been
like
trying to do
weeks,
slang for a while.
because
So
we couldn't even be in the same room.
Yes, we're in.
But now the
you
colors.
see us together.
The colors of the rainbow.
You see our Get away from me with COVID. No, I'm just kidding. Corona. No, I'm just kidding.
Just because I had that trade over on Tuesday.
Yes. She was getting hers, honey, in this time. But but yeah, no. But you guys finally got to see us together. I'd imagine our connection's different, and then I mean it's pretty much the same as when we do it
we
together.
didn't talk over each other.
Yeah,
as much as
I think our connection is. You could tell there's a difference though, actually in person more. But yes. Like.
That's my good Judy.
This is my good Judy. We're Judy's honey. Yes. You've learned the word. Now you guys know what that means. So yes. Everyone like the video and subscribe down below.
All right.
Bye.